Shank Rock is the wave of the future. The diagrams that I have up, where did this go wrong at?
Remember, we didn't know this happened to her.
Okay. But that's in the trial. There's nobody on a jury that's going to watch these tapes. He done did 7 to 8 different interviews and a book where he done bragged, talked about this stuff in details.
Around 3 o'clock that morning, I got random text messages and it was just pictures of her and the other little girl. I thought it was strange.
Now, some of y'all might say, who is Shank Rock? Shank Rock is black media. Well, what is black media? Black media is all about allowing black people to be themselves first. It's not about race. It's not about religion. It's not about politics. It's about doing what's right. It's about holding those that needs to be held accountable to be held accountable. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration, The Collective. Salute to the chat. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to all of my wonderful moderators. Now, some of y'all might say, all right, Shank Rock, where you going at with this? What is this whole demonstration about The Collective? Well, me and Charles was, chopping it up. And he brought it to my attention. Let's do a demonstration where we're building from different angles. Now, I do have Chuck backstage with me. He will be joining me shortly. But this is an open panel to everyone. If you feel as though the topic that me and Chuck is discussing is a topic for you, you know how I do. Feel free to click on the blue StreamYard link. Now, I will be chopping it up about other topics. Or you may have a topic that you would like to bring on up for us to build off of. So when I look at the collective demonstration, I'm looking at more of a building situation where it's though, you got 4 individuals and let's just say they're building a brand. So they got a brand. Now, in my opinion, 4 building on one brand compared to just one is just more beneficial to me. But I'm going to bring Chuck up. Now, I do know Chuck was speaking to me as far as when it comes to the homeless. So, salute, Chuck.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
All right, what's good with you?
Oh man, another day in the bayou.
Slide in. Let me first salute my chat. I see y'all because they be like, Shank, you don't be saluting me. Salute David. Salute Phoenix. Salute Precious. Precious is from Baltimore as well. This another Baltimore representative, Precious. This man right here. I see you, Carl. Come on in, Charles.
I thought I was in. Am I in?
You in? Yeah, I'm talking about talking.
Oh, okay. You know I'm kind of slow sometimes, right?
I got you. Come on.
Yeah. No, but hey, listen, this is what I was talking about, and I'm piggybacking on what you said. You said a brand, but when I'm talking about a collective I'm not just a brand. I'm talking about how individuals come together, past, present, or future, to be able to either build each other up, to create something, or to be able to it's like a collective group of individuals that understand one another. So when we talk about a collective, it's a group of, and I ain't gonna say just like-minded people. I'm gonna say that people with a mind of intent and a purpose to be able to elevate or even help one another out to achieve goals or just to be able to support one another. Now, I've noticed that, in creating the collective, you have a cultural divide, or you have different cultures that build and help one another based on their community. So when we're talking about community collective, a friend collective, a family collective, everything is a relationship building process that helps one another grow, develop, and achieve more than what they're currently at. Vice versa, as we was talking about, and me and Shank was talking about how and early on in early stages in school, everybody, even back to elementary school, college, middle school, and things of that nature, we started the basis of a collective, but the principle of it wasn't even made known to us or the direction by the teachers. And I'm not sure whether the teachers understood what they were doing at the time in which they established these type of groups. And I go to say that because of this. If you're in a group setting and you have 5 people, whether it be elementary school, doesn't matter, and y'all do a group project, the teacher put 4 or 5 of y'all together and say, hey, I want y'all to accomplish this goal. Now, not knowing that that particular group is the basis for what we are now calling friendship, what we're now calling business boards, but what we call a collective. Now, you have various attitudes, various opinions, even in 4 people. But in doing so, as a adolescence, as a child, you are starting to learn critical life skills at an early age, and it's not even understood as to why we're doing it. Problem being critical thinking, conflict resolution, independent thinking. And conflict resolution is great when it comes to a collective, because you have individuals that don't agree. Some people say, well, I agree to disagree. And that may be true. Or some people don't agree and they want to get into an argument and things of that nature. Well, guess what? You got to find out at an early age how to resolve that issue, how to resolve that conflict, how to get to the bottom line of getting to your goal. So that's what I'm here today to talk about, because I have friends, and even with Shank came he didn't come to me, we came to each other. And just that communication has spawned something in me to be at this point right now. When we talked about, I said, hey, Shank, I want to do something. And I say, hey, Charles, you doing music, you doing books. But you know what, man? I seen you in your life into some things. So come on onto the platform. That is a part of a collective. Each one teach one, someone in a particular place to help another person build. And we're not holding each other back. We're not using each other. We are just being a relationship built to say, man, I want to see you do well. So when you got a group of people that want to see each other do well, what I'm talking about is no conflict, no pride, no big me's, no little I's, things like that. That's a collective group. And if you think about it, think about this. And I hear it all the time. And this is no pun intended to anybody else. They say, man, you see all them Hispanic guys, they hang together, they live together, they do this and that. But guess what? They making something together. Now, what conflicts they may or not have, all you see is what you see. You see their collective at work, and you see a result of it. Not saying that we don't have it, but we have it in spurts. We have it in pockets, but we don't have it as it should be when we talk about a collective group of individuals of us. You get what I'm saying? And that's you can say it on an ethnic part. You can say it on just men, because before we came on here, this is what I was thinking about, yo. Check this out. What is the difference? It's gonna hit you up. What is the difference between a collective of men and a collective of women? And I say this because I see a lot of like-minded women build some super strong collectives and become professionals, business building, things like that. And they stay in their firm. Not to say that men don't do it, but what's the numbers? The comparison number. Talk to me.
Before I slide in, I'm gonna let you see Mom Dukes. Shout out to Mom Dukes, Miss Geraldine. Your mom is in the chat, Chuck.
Oh, hey, Mom. How you doing? That's my lady right there.
I'm so glad that you spoke on it. With us, it's the ego. You know,
Mm,
it's the I'm harder. It ain't so much of I'm better. It's I'm harder. You know, now with the women understand, you know, and maybe it's because the women were held back from the piece of the pie. I don't know. And so
okay.
their struggle was way deeper than ours.
Mm,
Cause I see like you said, like with me and you. Like,
okay. Okay.
and me and you've been around each other. Like, it's crazy because I was around you before I was around my day ones. Coop and Durham Dwayne and all of them, Bruley and them. Cause me and you was in kindergarten together.
Right.
And so it's like me and your conversation, it's just like we was, I mean, day ones, as far as if you was a Coop or Bruley or Dwayne or any of them. And it was like, I was like, damn, I wish me and Chuck could have been building back then in middle school, high school. I say all that to say to come to where you're at with us building. And make sure if any of my moderators is in the chat, I don't know which moderators is down there. If any of y'all are in the chat, I'm going to be giving y'all some links to drop, some emails for Chuck, you know, so the people can definitely go support. Before I even go any further, plug your up and coming podcast before I go any further.
Oh man, here we go. Now this listen, I didn't even think that I would even be capable of it. I didn't think of my lane, none of that. And I have to be honest with you, it was I'm gonna say, the podcast theory didn't come until I came on with you. And the reaction and the response that I got from people in my community, people around, it was like, you know what, man? Maybe this is what you were supposed to be doing. So what I have is my podcast is going to be called the Unspoken Voices Podcast. Okay, I'm going to be more so geared towards individuals who like myself, who've been through some things, had some not just trauma, but you can have triumphs. But we have issues in life that aren't fully dealt with, haven't been dealt with, or even I don't even recognize in the public. But these are things that everyone seemingly have went through, but not everybody speaks about it.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm opening up a platform for individuals to be able to share those stories, speak about them, or even ask questions about their own situations that they may not want to talk about, but yet I can bring to the table and talk about.
Right.
And not just talk about them. What I want to do is I'm gonna address the issue, and I'm gonna have commentators come in. I want to hear the public's view of the issue. And then not only that, you could be a novice. I could say you're a novice on the issue, but if you lived it, then you know it. However, I want to, as a means to helping individuals, I'm going to follow up with some professional input on specific issues, as well as information that could help guide people to organizations or where to find certain resources or help for the situation that they're in. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the first that did it. I'm not saying I'm the last that did it, but I'm saying that I'm doing it. And it's going to be unique to me because I lived it.
Right.
I lived 99.9% of a lot of lives in my small little life. but I want to be able to bring that to the masses and give them a place where they can find help. Because I'm telling you, man, if you would understand how many people came to me and said, man, I heard your podcast and I was on there when you was on the show. I was listening to you and they said, thank you. I said, thank you for what? I said, man, thank you for sharing what you had to share because I've been through it. And I'm like, it opened up a door for me. And if you, I really can't even describe how that felt inside for somebody to come to me and say that. And I'm not just talking about black, I'm talking about people, I'm talking Hispanics, I'm talking across the board. So don't get it wrong. This is not a black white thing, it's not a girl boy thing, it's not a male, it's a people thing. And you got people that go through a lot of events in their life that they just bottle it up, they hold it inside. And sooner or later it comes out, and how it comes out may be proactive or destructive. So I'm just putting myself and my podcast in a place to be able to give people an outlet to address certain issues and to give some information. And we're going to build.
Let me slide in, Chuck, because I got a question for you. Appreciate
shoot.
this super chat, Taz. Shank is so supportive. Appreciate that, Taz. This is an excellent idea for a podcast. Congratulations and thank you for your platform. And I will be subscribing. Thank you, Mr. Ellis. This is a Toya right. Now, this is who I want you to talk to. I want you to talk to the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds that is stuck. And for whatever reason that they're stuck. But they're stuck in their younger days. And they have so much potential. As you said, you 99.99% you done or live what pretty much other folks is dreaming about living. Talk to a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old that's just still stuck with that little boy's mentality.
All right. I'm gonna say it in a few simple things. And I wouldn't even say a little boy's mentality. I would say that you're stuck in a mental state of inertia, a mental state of inertia, meaning that you want to go back to a time that's already gone. And somebody told me a long time ago, and I think I wrote about it. You can't chase yesterday. You can't chase yesterday because you can't catch up with yesterday because it's gone. And if you try to catch up with your past, you're gonna miss what's in front of you. If you miss what's in front of you, you're not gonna make it to your future. So a lot of times, man, you gotta learn to just face certain things head on and let go. And not saying that it's easy, saying that life challenges put you in a situation that if you hold on to so much so long, that you're gonna be stagnant. And that's going to create a lot of animosity. It's going to create some doubt. It's going to create depression. It's going to put you in a physical state caused by a mental condition that you don't feel like you can't reach your own self-worth. I can speak directly to it because I had a few things going on with myself. I was angry for many years, many years. And it took me being in the worst place ever to understand that, you know what, man, your anger is yours alone. You have a choice. You can hold on to it or you can let it go. But letting it go makes you vulnerable. And that being vulnerable is scary. But sometimes you have to embrace being vulnerable in order to move forward or move past where you at. Sometimes you gotta let your pride aside, humble yourself. And these are things that I discovered recently. Not even the fact that I've been through a lot, but the fact that I've discovered the humbleness recently. When you used to making a lot of money and you're just not making the money no more. It seemed like the whole weight of the world and caved down on your shoulders. and you just don't know where to go. Your friends haven't been real friendly. You know, everybody think that you can always overcome and do certain things, but you're stuck in the mindset of like, you know what, man, I gotta get it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. Well, maybe you don't have to get it. Maybe that's just you have to rethink of what you're getting. Turn it around and focus on what you have in front of you. Because what I've been seeing is, and I've been having to tell myself on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, because I'm always one stuck on achievement. I'm always one trying to grind. If you ask anybody else, I'm always a go-getter. I'm always thinking. I can't even sleep half the time because I want to know what's next. But the thing about it is, I have to stop, slow the world down. It's not about everything is what's next. What do you have that's in front of you that you can appreciate? You know, what do you have right now that's worthwhile? Well, life is worthwhile. Living is worthwhile. Breathing is worthwhile. You have that in front of you. You have that right now. That's in your moment. So what I've been trying to do is get myself into a position to just focus on the moment. You know, it's like you want a lot in life and everything can't come to you. But what do you have in the moment? And I say that because even in this moment right now, as I go through my daily struggles, you know, I have struggles and I'm opening up a podcast and I'm doing this to help other people, but I'm helping myself at the same time. And that's what us 40-year-old, 50-year-old, it's not a thing of age. It's not a thing of age because you can be 20 years old and stuck because you see somebody else that has something. But what's for them is for them. What's for you is for you. Everybody's not meant to be rich. Everybody's not meant to be poor. But what you have is meant for you is just for you. And you got to understand, you got to embrace that. And that's what I've been working on embracing what's for me. So as a 50-something year old, I ain't gonna tell y'all 50-something. I'm about like 45. No, I'm 50-something.
I'm about to say style line. Well, go ahead.
Yo, I was trying to get my young plug in there, bro.
I know.
I'm like 45 plus 2. 47. Yeah. But no, man, but so that's so I mean, that is that's the concept, right? So, and that goes back to the collective because you got a group of individuals and everybody's at a different place. Now, I'm gonna meet you where you at, right? Because where you at is where you at. Now, if we got to get you somewhere else and you have the ambition, you got to drive, or even I want to pull you up out of that stuck rut and give you a different perspective, then that's what a collective is for. It ain't just, a business. It's to help a friend or individual break a certain mentality or mind state. Right? And I say it like this. I'll tell you this because this is one thing I thought about when I was locked up, right? And I don't know why I talk about it, but I got to talk about certain things. You cannot not remember or talk about those things in your life that made you who you are now. I'm sorry. A lot of people get out and say, "Oh man, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to." You know what? That's on you, brother, because I can't avoid what I've been through.
Right.
But I can't deny the lessons that were learned either.
That's facts.
So and those lessons make me remind myself of certain things. In a joint, right? It's a whole nother society. But the days go slow. Time moves, but the day goes slow. Meaning this, the environment is so, I'm gonna say so programmed. You know what's going on. forget about the violence and the volatility of it. I'm just talking about the programming of a day and how you walk into a day and everything is like slow. Even though time moving is still slow. But when you walk out them doors, boom, boom, the days change. Everything is I'm talking about at a rapid pace. Everybody is like I want now moment. So as you get reprogrammed into society, you starting to try to fall into that rift that I want now moment. I got to get now moment. And I fell into it. You know, you come on, I want money now. I want success now. I want to do this right now. Everything is a now moment. But in the quiet of my days, sometimes I sit back and be like, yo, slow it down. Slow the day down. You're not going to stop time, but slow the day down. And it's hard. It's a constant reminder of what you have to do. And like you're gonna succeed, you're gonna fail, you're gonna pass, you're gonna climb a mountain, you're gonna fall down, you're gonna get up, you're gonna get back up, you know. It's like a lot of obstacles hit you. And it takes a strong mentality to be able to refocus on a daily basis and incorporate all those things you got in you in order to create something for the next moment. So again, these lessons that I have in my life, I want to bring to the public. I want to bring to the masses. So, hey, Shank, understand this. I wasn't ready, but my man told me be ready. Guess when we going live? March the 1st, Sunday. Sunday, March the 1st on YouTube, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm jumping off with the first podcast ever in my life.
What can the people look forward to on that first podcast?
Man, you can look forward to everything you're gonna see on Monday. No, seriously, look, because it's gonna be Sunday, right? No, look, hey, listen, because look, I you know what? I'm gonna tell you what I'm my first month. My first month, what I really want to address is I want to address youth mental health. Okay, because and I say youth mental health because of this. Youth mental health creates what? Adult mental health that follows you your whole life, right?
Right.
So, being as though I was given the opportunity to come on here and talk about myself, I realized that, you know what, man, I didn't, at a young age, I never thought about attending to my own mental health. And nowadays, you got a lot of kids growing up fast.
Right.
I mean,
stay right there, Chuck. Stay right there. During our times,
okay,
was we suffering from mental illness, mental health?
You was.
Me? Me?
Hey, bro, listen, man, listen. You know what? Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. Yes, but did we know it?
Right.
That's the question. Yes, but did we know it? Because nowadays they call it mental health, right? Back in our day, it was like he had an attitude problem. He had a discipline issue. Something wrong with the kid. That boy crazy. He a hood rat. Nigga violent. But never once did anybody say, maybe he need to see a therapist. But when I grew up, in my age, it wasn't about seeing no therapist. It was about you gonna straighten up and fly right, or you gonna catch that whooping straight out the gate. It seemed like a whole lot of times a beating cured everything, right? You know, whether it's old school or new school, when you get a beating, it seems like you start to think right. Like you got your mind right now. You know, mom, you had that thing, what is it, Cool Hand Luke? Like, you got your mind right, Luke? Yeah, boy, I got my mind right. Right? but it wasn't that, bro. Like a lot of kids we grew up with, some of them had schizophrenia and all kinds of stuff like that. And I don't know if we pronounce it right because we're from Baltimore. I don't call it schizophrenia, phrenia. I don't know what it's called. But what I'm saying is a lot of people had it. You know what I'm saying? And some of our friends or some of our associates and guys we knew started doing drugs and stuff like that. But we never knew that, you know what, man? Maybe he got a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
But who ever thought about a chemical imbalance? I never even knew nothing about a chemical imbalance. Did you?
Nope. It was unheard of for us because if we even went in that direction, it would be considered, oh, yo, you crazy.
Yup.
You know what I mean? And when I think back to people that had them chemical imbalances, you know, but we was young.
Mm.
It was so
It was a
far
stigma.
fetched.
It was a stigma. It was a stigma. It was a stigma in our society about seeking counselors and help like that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, you couldn't tell me about going to go see, they call it a shrink.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you call it a shrink? I don't even know where the word came from. A psychologist is a shrink. Okay, what does a shrink do? It analyzes your thought process and help you find other ways of thinking, right? All right. So maybe then I could have dealt with some depression.
Right.
But it wasn't depression. It was, oh man, yo, quiet. He always sad. He to himself. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then next thing you know, dude on the news, he getting sent to Hickey because he done smashed a couple people. You feel me? Like, oh, yo, he done zapped out. What they call it now? They call it crashing out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, he done crashed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, man, what was he driving?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like that's different. Different terminologies. I'm saying like this. Different terminologies, different generations, same problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Because
Same problem.
we had the same problems.
The
Like you
same
said,
problem.
with us, it was a ass whooping, and you better straighten up. Nine
Yep.
times out of 10, for most of us, it worked. But then once we got that certain age, whereas though the ass whoopings couldn't do nothing to us,
No.
but today they don't get ass whoopings, or do they?
No, no,
Or do
no.
they?
Well, no. I don't think so. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. This is another thing. Because you see more single women raising kids, right? Children. Being male, female, they raising children, but they're more so becoming their friends.
Mm.
And some of them have been through certain things and said, well, that don't work. You know, a whooping don't work. And they could possibly be right. But sometimes it's mandatory. You know, especially when I can't say especially when you're raising a young man, but you even little girls get out of pocket too. Don't get it wrong. And sometimes they get out into society and just think they can say any old thing to you, do any old thing. And ain't no go sit in the corner. You know, because these kids, they getting kind of big now. They eat a lot of potatoes and stuff. Carbs, all that carbs, whatever they think. There's some big old kids now. I ain't never mind. I'm short. I didn't grow up that big. What this, man, I'm gonna say what I want. Anyway, somebody sent me a message that said, guess what? They said, man, don't say you know what I'm saying. But if that's what I'm saying, you don't know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But you know what though? I'm gonna be very professional. I'm not gonna say that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, hey man, I gotta learn the use of proper vernacular, especially when we talking in a public forum. But let me tell you, if I'm using a language that you can't relate to me in, then it's like I'm talking French to a Spanish person. So sometimes I gotta meet you where you at. And just because I meet you where you at, don't mean we gonna stay there. Hold up, I see some stuff coming up, man. I don't know what that means. I gotta put my glasses on. Let me see. Oh, okay. 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 I get it. Yup. I understand. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. Give me a name, Shay.
Self-made. Shout out to self-made. Salute self-made. That's self-made, Chuck.
Yeah, self-made. See, so this is what I'm talking about. Like the purpose of even these type of conversations, to be able to have somebody even say that, you know, because when we talk about issues, and that's what I said, that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. I'm trying to bring that to the table because these issues can give people insight. That one, that you're not the only person going through it. Second, it can also give you options or even an avenue to find solutions or even get resolution to some of the things that you're dealing with. So I appreciate the comment for sure. And I understand what you're saying because like I know somebody that been through the same situation. But it wasn't just the whooping, it was maybe some drugs or things like that. But you got the system. The system gets involved in your life when you talk. They call it corporal punishment on your children. Okay. All right. So if my child flare up and I say, hey, little Johnny, go clean the kitchen, right? And little Johnny say, man, Dad, I ain't cleaning no kitchen. Now, what's your first reaction? I might slap little Johnny head loose. No. Nowadays, it say, okay, well, don't slap little Johnny head loose. Just take something for little Johnny. Oh, Johnny, you can't play your PlayStation today. Well, he only had one game anyway. Oh, well, you're a single mother and you don't have a whole lot. So you tell little Johnny go clean the kitchen, and Johnny say, man, I ain't cleaning no kitchen, man. I don't feel like doing it. All right, well, little Johnny, you ain't gonna get nothing to eat today. Now, what they want? They want to take you for child neglect. Oh, I neglected my child. I ain't feed him today. I ain't clean the kitchen. So, you got a positive and a negative. You got an adverse to everything. You got it's an action and reaction. But little Johnny only got 2 times to tell me he ain't clean that kitchen. And we're gonna have a problem. And matter of fact, I ain't taking the PlayStation. Like, are you gonna clean that kitchen? Straight out the gate. You think what I'm saying? Like, man, go out here and work, put food on the table, break my back, so you can have a roof over your head. Understand, you didn't ask to come here. That's what kids say nowadays. Hey, like, man, you made me. I ain't asked to come here, so what? You here now. Mm-hmm. And it's my responsibility to keep this over your head. But now, as you starting to grow and you're going to become responsible for some child that you may make, then you're going to have to understand how to direct it. So go get that kitchen clean. And it's the first and last time we're going to have a conversation. That's it for me.
Now let me slide in, Chuck, because
come on,
I got children, 35, 34, they up in age. And then I got grandkids. And so I deal with the generation. Now, like you said, see, today they can question their mom and dad. We couldn't. And if we did, it was the severely repercussions behind questioning our parents.
Okay.
Now that the kids of today have a voice and they question us, do you see any truths into them questioning us? I'm just going back to what you said. When the child asks us, well, I ain't asked to be here. And then we meet them with, well, it don't make a difference. Go do what you're supposed to do. Are they right when they question the parents?
You know what? That was a big question. I'm glad you said that. Hey, you better ask somebody else. Look, ask a commentator like, hey, what do y'all?
And I'm gonna drop down and let you handle it all by yourself.
Oh, bro, come on, you for real? How you gonna leave me out there like that? All right, I'm gonna look for a comment. I'm gonna see if a comment come on and say something. But for right now, let me break it down because I had to think about that. All right, check it out. You tell your child to do something and they question. I didn't ask to come in. You know what? You're absolutely right. You didn't ask to come here, but now you here. It was my mistake. I may have made you on purpose. I may have not made you on purpose. I may have asked to make you or didn't make you, but now you here. Now you're of age. So you know what? But since you didn't ask to come here, right? Then you don't have to do that. But guess what? Even though I didn't say I wanted you to come here. So guess what? I'm not gonna do what I'm supposed to do either. So now we both in the same boat. I didn't ask for you, and you ain't asked to come. So what you want to do? How you want to carry it? You want to comply or goodbye? Left or right? But I mean, no, that's how about that, Shane? How about that? Was that good?
I'm with you. You right. You right.
But it don't always work, man. It don't always work.
Cause see, like I said, some of the things that they hit us with, it make you be like, they got a point at what they saying. And so I'm not bringing this up for us because, okay, our generation was Generation X. Let me read this real quick.
Okay, what it say? I can't see. You know, I put my glasses on.
The real, I think, Alice says the temperament is different today than in the past. What would you think? What would you say?
The temperament. Well, you got to tell me what temperament mean, man. I ain't the temperament. No, look. Well, I'm not gonna say the temperament. What I'm gonna say is the level of understanding is different now than it was in the past. And it could fall along the lines of temperament, but it still go back to respect. It goes back to honor thy mother and thy father. Right? It goes back to who putting food on your table. Right? Well, you asked to be here or not, you here. So now we're dealing with it. So it goes back to teaching responsibility, and doing the dishes or cleaning the kitchen is a tool of responsibility. So now, if we really want to think about it, you could turn it into a teaching moment and tell the child, say, hey, you know what? You right. You didn't ask to come here. But this is what I want to do. I want you to clean the kitchen because I'm trying to teach you something. So when you're in a home by yourself, you'll have the tools equipped enough to be able to manage your own home in a healthy environment. Because you need to know what a healthy environment looks like, and you need to understand what it takes to be able to create a helpful environment. That means it takes some work. It takes work ethics. It takes focus. It takes attention to detail. Right? Now, let me look at this. I was born in the era, beat that ass mama, call the police herself and tell them they can come get you. Some of the same thing, same time with mine. Mario Houston. Hey, Mario. But see, the thing about it is this. Sometimes that creates, now this is what we talk when we talk about real talk. This when we talk about early childhood trauma. This when we talk about some built-in resentment. This when we talk about our teaching methods from back, or our learning methods that what we learned back in the day from the teaching methods now have to be or somewhat be more explanatory than authoritative. But that authoritarian figure still has to hold an amount of respect from the child, but it's a manner in which you get it out there. You have sometimes they learn so much that you have to explain things. And there comes a time where you really don't want to have to explain all the time. But maybe explaining more will give them more tools to be able to understand, to accomplish. Now, when that explaining don't work, now it's something different. Because if I explain to you certain things and you just don't get it, or you don't care about what I'm telling you, now you know that lack of obedience to the explanation comes with consequences. Now we're going to teach them about consequences to your actions. That's a difference. So nowadays, you know, like I said, I got grandkids. Man, my granddaughters, they beautiful. But you know, them girls got some miles on them and they got their own opinions. Man, you know I got to look on it. Oh. You ain't understand that one? All right, I'm gonna get back to you.
Nah, he's speaking to you, Chuck.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
but you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like nowadays, yeah, you know, if you beat a child, right? You don't know what the ramifications going to be later on. Whether it's fear, some sort of trauma, some sort of resentment, or whatever the case may be. That's a decision you make, right? So now it's like, you know what? I got to explain this to you. If you at an age where you can ask me the question, then maybe you at an age that you can understand the answer.
Right.
But if I give you the answer and I explain it to you in a format, but your actions don't display that you recognize what I'm telling you, then I'm going to give you a couple chances. But don't come back in a disrespectful manner as to you being rebellious to the fact that I explained something to you. Because now there are repercussions to your rebellion. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dad, I said it again, didn't I?
Go ahead. Get your glasses on. Mr.
Man,
Peabody, Mr. Peabody, there goes something for you.
All right, let me get this. Bro, I'm gonna tell you about your glasses in a minute. I swear.
You know I gotta get you back for all them cracks you got on me on the last one. Go ahead.
Man, I got something for you. I'm trying to tell you right now. Okay. My mother always said, I brought you here and I'll take you out. I use the same motto when I ask you to do something. It's not negotiation, period. Trigger Talk TV. Okay, cool. I understood. Let me take my glasses up. No. Okay, so no, it's not a negotiation. But it's not a back and forth negotiation. But at the same token, I still want them to understand that when I tell you something, it's a lesson and it's a direction. Now, that obedience and comply type of thing can be positive or negative. Because when your child go out into society and somebody tell them something, do you want them to question it out front, or do you want them to just be obedient and comply? You get what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna say you get what I'm saying. Let me talk directly to some people because of this. Like, I could be equipping my child to go out into society and be subservient. And in certain circumstances, you know, subservience is non-negotiable. So I don't want to send my child into an environment where they're being overtaken by individuals with a stronger mentality to produce them to be subservient, and they will understand that, you know what, well, if they said it, do it. No. Yeah, you have to be able to discern when and where to open your mouth, when and where to question certain things, how and what to say. So, and given so, I would have to learn how. I would have to learn my child and teach them how to talk to me directly with I would say directly with a mannerism that is respectful. Man, I ought to go to school or something, bro. That was serious. Let me see something. Let me think about it. Okay. Okay. Well, they take advantage of knowing your discipline to an extent. And nowadays, discipline is being normalized as abuse, forgotten. Okay. All right, Miss Self-Made. And that's the thing. Okay, so now say they want to take it for granted. That's what I'm saying. They want to take certain things for granted because a lot of kids now they get so rebellious. They're like, you know what? I mean, because you got to understand something. Some kids are in an environment where they don't have nothing to lose. And then they don't think they got anything to gain. You get what I'm saying? So, Dad, I keep saying I'm getting what I'm saying. All right, let me rewind it. What is it? Mr. Peabody. All right. But anyway, I'll stop playing on games. I'm trying to answer this question. I'll be real concise about this question. Let me see. Facts. All right. So look. So when a child don't have nothing to lose and don't know what they have to gain, so now you all you have is communication and an option, right? Well, it has to be what it has to be, and that's what I would say it has to be because there's a breaking point. There's a breaking point. I can explain to you until my ears pop off. But if you want to be disrespectful, then it's various ways to teach them discipline. You know, now, long as your child don't put their hands, try to raise their hand against you. If your child try to raise their hand against you and you try to teach them something, then you got a whole nother issue. You know, like I'm no doctor, I'm no lawyer or nothing like that because I don't want to get nobody in trouble. So say, don't take my word for everything. Just understand this is what I'm saying. I ain't giving you no advice on what to do. I ain't telling you smack them upside the head or none of that. We just having a conversation about life and what people choose to do with their children, how children respond or don't respond to proper communication. It's a tone of voice, it's body language, and it's actions. It's reactions and repercussions. You know, some people get along better with their children when they have an open dialogue and their children are receptive to it. But they still have to know that at a certain point in time, the dialogue cuts. And now it's all about action. And you have to display that. Now, if that display of action comes with a little physicalness, then you know it is what it is. But it's a lot of I don't think it's any perfect answer to raising a child. That's why this thing of a collective comes into play. Because as we're speaking now, you're part of the collective. You're getting advice, you're getting insight, and you're getting a little understanding from a wide variety of different approaches. Because every approach, some approaches work for some people, some don't work for others. You know, I know my approach didn't work all the time, but that was my approach because that's all I knew. When you know better, you kind of do better. Go ahead, Shine. I see you back. Yo, why you keep dropping out on me? Y'all, I'll be waiting for you too, man.
Nah, to give you,
I get it.
the stage on your own. So when people might want to screenshot it, or they might want to take a clip of you, speaking, it's you all by yourself. But
No,
I
I
can stay
get it.
up here and hold your hand while we walk across Lock Raven, coming home and walk through the woods and come up through the group home. And I can walk you to Sagra, and then I could cut, down Cochran and go home if that's what you want.
Well,
Let
first of
me
all, let me
let me
tell you
get
something.
this. Ho, Chuck, this comment for me. Self-Made says, hey, Shank, I sent you an email regarding a trial that recently just finished with evidence exhibits. Okay, Self-Made, I'll check it out. And this one is for you, Chuck. Is it all right if I
Okay.
drop down? You gonna be all right? Crossing
No,
like
bro.
Raven,
No,
going
no,
through
no,
the
no.
woods.
Don't touch my hand though. But I'm saying we're gonna check it out. Nowadays, you have to keep reminding them to use their 2 ears more than their mouths. Amen to that. And you know I can't see, Shank. And hold your PC. Man, I
You,
gotta do something. I gotta do something with these Peabodys, boy.
you want
Woo-wee. No, hey, this ain't no lie, man. When I woke up at 45, right?
Mhm.
I looked at my phone and couldn't see it. And I'm like, man, I know I could see yesterday, right? So now I can see. It's just that I gotta have these readers on in order to look at stuff, especially on like here, right? So I'm like, oh man. So I was thinking about getting some LASIK or something. I don't know. Maybe I just get some new eyes.
This Mom Dukes. You want me to read it or you want to read it?
I'll go ahead, shoot. Let me see what she got to say.
Mom Duke says, there used to be a village to raise a child. Now there are people who takes offensive of someone else trying to help. That's facts, Mom Dukes. Go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, there ain't no question. Because well, you know what, man? Because you know why they take offense? Because you got a lot of children raising children. And when them children grew up, they ain't want nobody telling them what to do. So they was too grown on their own. But now they got 5 and 6 kids running wild. But they don't say nothing to my kids. Well, get them. And let me tell you something, because this the thing about it. They the same. I ain't gonna say they the same, but it's the same thing when we talk about community and helping the community. Because you got kids. Well, I can't say that either, man. Because look, you got kids running wild in the streets, right?
Mhm.
But you don't do nothing to stop them. And then when something happens, you say, "Oh, my baby was the sweetest baby ever." Well, some of your babies wasn't that sweet.
Right.
Real talk. And let me tell you something, man. Even for myself, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you know me growing up, whatever. I got a mother and father and all that case, man. I had my issues or whatever. I wasn't the best person. I wasn't the worst. I was running wild. So I'm out there fighting and doing this and that. So something happened to me, right? Charles, you out there fighting, you doing this. Okay, well, you know what? Don't deny the fact that I wasn't doing what I'm doing.
Right.
But yes, you love me. I loved you. And we got a thing, a paternal or maternal type of thing. Your mother always going to love you, always going to be something special to your child, to your mother, to your parent. But at the same time, don't ignore the fact that your child out there doing something. And if you're out there doing something, then do something to stop it.
Now stay
Everybody,
there, Chuck. Stay there
go
for
ahead.
1 second, Chuck. Q says you can't trust the village anymore. That's true. Salute, Miss Parker. I see you, Miss Parker. Now stay right there, Chuck. Now, because I'm all about accountability. And
Fact.
I feel, but I want to
Okay.
get your point. I want to get your perspective. I feel like Generation X, which was us, I feel like we let these generations down because go back now for like our brother ages and them. They
Okay. I'm listening.
wasn't of course they did their thing, but they wasn't wild like our generation came along. Our brothers, them generations wasn't called hoppers. We got that name hoppers. Correct?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So and I take accountability all the time. Do you think we need to take accountability, Generation X, for the way things are going today?
Accountability how though? Because now you talking to a bigger spectrum now, right? And we're
Okay.
moving in a direction where so say this. If you say take accountability, so you're saying that our generation to take accountability for, say, the next one, what's it, millenniums? What's the next
Um,
one? We got X, Y, Z's,
I,
ABCDs,
no,
GFDs,
no.
millennials.
So I think Generation X was the 70s but I don't know what the 90s was. Or
No,
the,
no,
I
you
don't.
got baby boomers. We the baby
That,
boomers, man. We the baby boomers.
no, I think the
Yeah.
60s. I ain't sure. Somebody gonna have to help us out. I ain't sure, but because see, when
The
it came
60s.
to, I'm just okay. When it came to the streets, like
Okay.
before our
Okay.
time, the streets was well organized. It was called the underworld, and just know, and any and everybody was in the streets or in the underworld. Now, when we came along, we went to the stealing cars, stealing out of stores. And then after that, that's when crack came to town. We went to hustling, we went to, other various things. So is they imitating, and all of this had been passed down.
No.
Let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Out of 70s, baby, is our generation responsible for creating Frankenstein. And now that we can't handle Frankenstein, we don't know what to do.
Man, I'm not gonna say responsible for creating Frankenstein because evolution is inevitable, right? That's like saying that, I forgot like how the animals go, whatever case may be. You got a cat, a bobcat, a tomcat, a cougar, and something else, right? Well, you can't stop evolution,
Mm, mm, mm.
right?
Okay.
And one generation has to learn from the next in order to create bigger and better things.
Mm.
Now, because bigger and better things have been created in the sign of evolution, that's on the positive side. But you can also take the worst of the worst as if it's a school, because you have to learn from something in order to make it greater. Meaning this, if you take prohibition back in the 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and how they made alcohol and how it became legal later on. But during those times, people in evolution learned to perfect the means of getting what they wanted to get, whether it was by what the law says is a criminal manner. But when you talk about a criminal manner, is it only criminal because, and I don't want to get into this too much, it's only criminal because the government wasn't able to control it, right? Just like now, marijuana is being legalized because it's being able to be taxed in certain venues, right? But no one said, well, you know what? Well, since we're responsible for it, why don't we let everybody go that had a marijuana charge? Why don't we drop all those felony convictions for marijuana, right? Well, that's evolution. So, but when we talk about the community set and are we responsible for what the children do, they can go two different ways. Because I can say, yeah, I'm responsible for this child having a college degree, getting ready, going to be doctors, nurses, and things like that, being studied. Why? Because I instilled in them the value of education. I instilled in them the value of self-reliance, right? But at the same token, you take accountability for the negative as well, right? But now understand this. When we was growing up, and I know this for a fact, no questions asked, because I learned some of my street stuff from somebody else that I saw, right? And I ain't gonna mention his name, but I just talked to him the other day, right? And he turned his life around, doing a lot of good stuff, right? And I'll only mention his name if he says, "Oh, Charles, you can mention my name." But at one point in time, when we was, say, on the corner selling drugs and stuff like that, right? When crack came out, we used to close shop down on Sundays. Nobody sold drugs on Sunday, right? because we recognize Sunday being a holy day. We recognize that the day of rest. Nobody sold drugs on Sunday. Now, 24/7 off the chain, right? I can't say, well, I'm not responsible for that, because the person that followed behind me and I told him, yo, don't sell no drugs on Sunday. Don't sell no drugs on Sunday. When we used to fight in the streets, and then when you really get to the really gangster stuff, first of all, women and children was off the list. Bro, you ain't shooting no girls. You ain't beating up no children, none of it. They off the list. They off the handle, right? But nowadays, they don't care what happened out there. Women and children, and we didn't beat up no old people. It was a matter of respect that was instilled in us from the generation before. So now some of us adhere to those rules and guidelines. Even till this day, some of us still be like, man, you know what? If I'm in, this is just my policy. It's rooted in me that it's not what I do. So I can't say, well, yeah, man, I'm responsible for the actions of the current generation. Because every generation has their positive and their negative. All I can say is, you know what? Some of my actions contributed to some of the things that I've happened to learn from in my own generation. Right? So if you ask yourself like this, and then I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna say. One, I sold drugs, right? So somebody broke into my mother's car. Should I be mad? No.
But that's a good question now. But should you be mad?
Why though? Because listen, you sell drugs, right? And you got a booster and you got somebody to steal, right? So
I don't know nothing about none of that. But continue.
Really? All right, then look, I do. So look, somebody that steal, right? So the person that steal, he might come through the block and be like, yo, I got a laptop, I got some clothes, now I'm the first one to be like, yo, when you get it, you bring it here. Right? I got you. Because you got something, it's a supply and demand. I don't care where you got it from. Matter of fact, and the thing about it is, we buy the stuff, and he might took it out some old lady house, but we bought it, right? And we're like, man, I just came up on a $5,000 laptop for $40. But he broke into my mama's car and stole her radio and turned right back around and sold me the radio. I'm like, dang, yo, you just stole my radio. So my question is, should I be mad because he might not have knew that was my mother's car? That's one thing, right? So look, that's another thing. We got friends. So this is about the collective, right? This whole thing. So now I'm telling you another thing. I had somebody, this all in the game though. I'm doing one thing in the game, right? One of my friends come to me, yo, let me get that. I'm like, yo, what you mean? I ain't know you was getting high. No, you can't get that from me. Got what you tell me. If I don't get it from you, I'm gonna get it from somebody else. So what you gonna do? Yeah. So that pulls on the strings of, do you choose humanity over money?
And that was some wild times, because we went from seeing the girls that was, at the top of the class. The girls that was the prettiest in Northwood and Chiquapin, and we just knew that they was destined to be something great. Now they coming to us, for type of favors, and I'm looking like,
wow, did I do that?
Yeah, And as much as Drop Dead Gorgeous they were, it was like, I can't here. You know what I mean? Here. I ain't want to
But
go there. I like you. Some
yeah, I
things.
know. Some
Go
things
ahead,
lead to
Chuck. Go ahead.
do you offer them help?
Okay. Truth or dare. Some of them, a couple of them, I had to have them because you know,
It ain't funny, yo, but I understand what you said, bro. I ain't
right?
gonna lie.
Right,
I,
and you know
go
what I
ahead.
mean? Because I don't think that if it wasn't for they habit, they would have gave me the time of day. Right?
Okay.
So some of them I did that. Others they had fell so far that I gotta be careful because I know we got people watch. But you know, some of them fell so far, I was like, no. And you know, I would hit them off. Go about your business. You know, come back in, Chuck, because my mind and I come back in,
Yeah,
Chuck.
you done went all the way. You done went all the way
Yeah,
you went all the way to
yeah,
left field. We
yeah. Let me
drop off.
drop down. You handle the.
Don't follow, it will fall on your bloodline. Wow, that's a serious one. I can't, Shank gonna have to say your name. I'm sorry, but sins of the family carries if it don't fall on you, it will fall on your bloodline. Hmm. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure as to how to categorize that comment. Sins of the family, if it don't fall on you, it'll fall on your bloodline. And the reason why I say that is because it's what you choose to participate in. It's what you choose to partake in, because you can be the one to break the line of what's actually going. I don't know what the sins are or how it happened, but you can be that person in that chain to help break that progression. So I agree with you in some sense of the word, but I also disagree in the fact of your position and how you change. If you accept it, then you become what you accept, and what you don't accept, you can attempt to change or steer into a different direction. That's like being okay. I'll go to myself for instance. Okay, that's like being raised in a abusive environment and becoming an abuser. Okay, you have a choice. Once you can get a grasp of your own emotional and mental stability, now it becomes a choice. And you can choose to be in that, follow that chain, or you can stop it and fight against it. At one point in my life, I became a product of my environment. You know, when my father was abusive, that's what I learned. I didn't like it. I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. My heart despised certain things, and it just wasn't a part of me. But it became what I was, kind of, sort of. And that element lashed out on other individuals who didn't deserve that from me. And it came a time where I learned from that, and I despised myself. But now where I'm at, that's not in my cycle. So I didn't pass that on to my children. So hopefully my children haven't acquired that trait from anybody to be able to enact that on there. So it's not just the sins of the family, it's yours. It's your sins. And you got to choose your decisions carefully because you can stop that in your bloodline by your actions. You can't control. It's a lot of things you can control, but you can control you. You can't control nobody else's actions, but you can control you. You can control what you put out into the element, and that's a big step. So, but like I said, man, let's well, it's almost time for us to wrap it up, huh? We've been getting in. We've been getting in there. Eh?
Yeah, this been a well needed demonstration. As always, the conversation is always on point. Um, I always mess her name up, so I always call it Q. I'm always messing somebody's name up, but that's who that was. Let me come back to James. James says, Gen X, we had mentors and respect for elders. So, how do you feel right now as far as it's, almost that time for you to do your thing with your podcast?
You know, I, I just got my feet wet just now, man. And I kind of feel, you know what? I feel pretty good about it. Man, I'm gonna tell you why. The comments are what is understandably is inspiring. You know, it gives you a little it puts something behind you.
Mhm.
Because excuse me. Because when you're having conversations like these and people comment, you know, you're getting their opinion. But it's also helping broaden your scope, helping give you more direction. So when as I said, March the 1st, we jumping off, you know.
Heavenly Healer says on point. Now, Q, let me just say something. Charles is from the same place that I'm from. Nikki Lynn, Pee Wee. Who else be coming over here from Baltimore? Tommy. Now, y'all know we can't pronounce names. We mess up words all the time. Now, Charles, if you want to try, give it a try now.
What are you talking about? The cute,
How to
cute.
pronounce her name. She's saying that's how you pronounce it.
I don't know. Quentin Washington. Right? I did it.
And y'all can't roast them.
Oh.
Y'all can't. I told y'all, people from Baltimore, y'all cannot roast us.
Oh, what she said her name was Kiana.
Is it Kiana or Kiana?
Man, I called it. Where you get the K from? I don't
Wow.
know. I call it
I'm
Quentin
with
Washington.
you. And see, y'all thought it was just me. This how Baltimore people talk. Shout out to all my folks from Baltimore. Shout out. This how we talk.
Quentin Washington. Man, she's special. I ain't never lying, bro. See, but that's the generation. She can't be from our generation because we ain't name our kids. We name our kids how you pronounce them.
Right. And we named them with just basic names, 4-letter
Great name.
names, 5-letter
Right.
names. Joe, John, Charles, Keisha, Lisa. We ain't do all of that. She said, that's it. Look, Mom Duke says, that's y'all.
Yeah. Shoot. Nah, man. We ain't do all that, man. You know, straight name. You know, Shaniqua. I don't know. But and people make up. I know let's not even gonna get on the name thing because people make up names that don't even make sense, man. Like I don't even know. I don't get it. But it's okay though. But like I say, like, you know, we're gonna get it in, man. We're gonna get it in, we're gonna bring it to the people, and we're gonna get as much. Oh, yeah. Let me get back to the collect. Check this out. Let me get back to the collective thing. Because
Okay.
I want to emphasize this. All right. You giving a shout out to Baltimore. Great. You in North Carolina. I'm in Illinois. Give a shout out to where we from. That's fine. And we build a collective. A lot of our friends and family all know what's going on. Like I'm getting ready to make a big move. March the 1st. You know, I'm making a big move. The Unspoken Voices podcast. March the 1st. But we talking about a collective. Why are we sitting around and we got 1,000 and a million friends? Baltimore City is on the map about a lot of things. But when we bring stuff like that's real productive out here, and you got black men, well, men striving to do something and bring something to the table, we definitely look for the support. Now we're talking about a collective. Everything that Shank is doing should go viral. Everything should be hitting a viral status, just on the fact that it's first is positive. Don't get it wrong, it's positive. Second is the fact that, you know, let's build each other up in a way in which we can create something and we can do more for the community. Because, you know, somebody will come out with a pair of tennis shoes, but you'll buy 1 million pair of Nikes. Where they sell them for $200, but they only make them for 15. But for individuals that's trying to do something positive, even feed the family off the top, build it up. What is a click gonna hurt? Nothing. What is a subscribe gonna hurt? It's not like you paying for a subscription. Hit the subscribe. Man, I'm from Baltimore. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment button. Like I said, put it in. Let it get in the algorithm. Now they got these things. The algorithm feeds who sees what. Put it out there. Don't stop nobody from seeing because when I want to give you, I want to give it to the word. But when I call back home, y'all my base. Y'all the base. Y'all are what we feed off of. Y'all where we grew up, we learned, and we live from. So when you're doing things like this and you're reaching out, you're definitely looking for that all-out support. You know, like people say, well, Charles, you changed your life, you did certain things. Okay, I got 4 books. 4. I'm an actual poet. Black History Month, I'm in Black History. I am an official poet. So I'm in the Library of Congress. That means that right now, I'm in Black History. So, you know how they have Black History Month in school and things like that, you know? I tell my grandkids, like, tell them your grandfather an author. Give them one of your grandfather books. Because you're just not going to be a name and a number that live and die a name and a number. Trying to be somebody that's going to have a legacy. Because I say a person is never dead as long as you're saying their name. So I'm going to keep myself alive by going in. I'm going to keep some of my people alive because I'm going to always say their name. You know, in my books, I purposely took control of my books because I wanted to recognize certain people and I didn't want nobody to hold me back. So I purposely took control of all my books and I put people's names in there. Now they in history with me. So we creating things, but I'm thinking on the level of creating things for legacy and longevity. So I'm just asking, and you think about when we go out here and you ask the public, ask your friends, share it, comment, like it, support it, push it. Make these 2 guys here, make them go viral. Say, hey man, I know them. I'm a part of that. Some people support a puppy and a puppy will go viral before black men. Where they do that at? United States. Let's change it. Let's make the algorithm, make this pop up. Let's produce something. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Be a part of the progress, not a part of the regress. Let's make something happen. And I'm getting ready to drop off. We'll bring Shank gonna bring himself back up here. And we're gonna keep it moving.
I'm gonna drop the mic. Charles said it. I couldn't have said it no better. I'm going to be dropping his links, so make sure y'all check on the Replay Gang for his links to the podcast, to his books, to his music, and everything else that he got going on. I'm gonna also put his links on my community wall. Make sure y'all are following me on Facebook. Okay, make sure y'all are following me on all other social media platforms. And once again, I will put Charles links to everything that he got going on. I will put it on the Replay Gang. All right. There's no more for me to say. So I'm gonna get on up out of here, and I'm gonna leave y'all with a short conversation between me and Charles that we had when I had him a few weeks ago. All right. Salute everybody, and I'll see y'all on the next demonstration.
That goes to say that, you know, and I always say that I would never vilify my father, right? And I won't. Because I can't make no excuse for his actions, because everybody is accountable for their own actions. But I can say that his actions and my observation of living in a domestically abusive environment became a part of my personality. And those things inside the home reflected outside the home. To say that, like how we used to go skating and everything, right? And we have our neighborhoods, and it really was never big gangs. Now we have our neighborhoods, but you got certain individuals in each neighborhood that are known for fighting attitude problems and things like that. But like with me, I had an attitude problem. But did you ever think that fighting and that attitude was more of my defense mechanism versus me just being a rugrat? You feel me?
Right. I feel you.
See, that's the difference, because when you endangered at home, but then you go outside to your peers, you don't want your peers to know that you're in danger.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? So you put on a defense mechanism that helps protect you on both sides. Because if you can't fight one side, you can damn sure you can fight the other.
Deep.
So as I grew up, I became to say, well, I can't beat yo in the house. But I for damn sure gonna beat the ones outside. Because I don't want nobody close to me, because that's my vulnerability. You too close, you in the zone that I feel uncomfortable about. So I was always known to strike first, ask questions later. Deal with the consequences when the consequences come. But right now, it's a strike first thing. So that's why you always just see me fighting all the time, man. And I would fight. I almost got to fight every day. I don't know how, but that's what it was. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that, and I didn't learn that, I swear, until I was about 40.
Wow. Can we address the elephant in the room?
And if it's not an elephant, man, go ahead.
Okay. So you spoke on the situation with your dad. And if I, go in too deep, just tell me back up, Shank.
Well, I'm gonna say back up, Shank. But go ahead. What's up? You can ask your question.
Okay. So it came out in the streets.
Okay.
That you got locked up for red rumming your dad.
Okay.
And it goes back to what you were saying, like, even myself at the time, because I didn't know your story, I didn't know your side.
Right.
The streets was like, how could he had, if it's true, how could he had Red Rum his dad?